Here's the DCL Women's Cup. Then we're going to race on both tracks, and we're doing 4 laps, not 2. We're all flying now in the first race of the DCL Women's Cup. We go back to Ice Party. So we'll start off through that slalom there with Louisa Rizzo in front, and Evan de Sautel jumped the start. Absolutely unheard of with a 1 second throttle penalty, and yet has managed to go from 6th to 2nd as they weave their way through the corkscrew section there, which has really stretched everybody. But Louisa Rizzo is out in front now. This is her best chance for a long time at beating Evan de Sautel. We've got a real hot race between these two right now. The rainbow flip for both of them through the Torvald pair is not a problem. Then back through Breitling onto the start of what is only the 2nd lap. Remember, they're going to race 4 of them. Evan de Sautel is sort of closing all the time on each of the technical bits as she's starting to move a little bit closer to Louisa Rizzo. Even with that throttle penalty, 1 second of no throttle if you jump the starts, and Evan hasn't done that before. We don't see it very often, as I mentioned earlier on in the show. Evan now half a second behind Louisa Rizzo, and that gap closes every time they get through one of these kind of inverted turns. These very technical bits that you were talking about, Martijn, and Louisa Rizzo weaving nicely there, but Evan de Sautel almost looked like she managed to do a slalom in a straight line, which is obviously impossible. That was very, very tidy indeed. Louisa Rizzo leads her into the first of the 3 big light tunnels. There's one, then the next one goes to the right, and the one after this goes to the left, and there's half a second between them, and de Sautel is down. Hit part of that tunnel and is losing time, but I think she's managed to recover it and get back into wherever she needs to be. These tunnels are very, very difficult. We're now watching Seon Park, who didn't get a chance to race yesterday, but we're glad to have her back with us. She's fighting with Ksenia Messina for 5th place right now. Leslie Camarena in 4th, and Susan Smith-Roux for Quad Force 1 currently in 3rd, maybe buoyed on by the fact that the boys at Quad Force 1 are now into their grand final. Look how straight and lovely that is for Seon Park. That was beautiful flying. Ksenia Messina is still with her. There's a great scrap between these two for 5th and 6th. Louisa Rizzo has got the win. Evan de Sautel in 2nd. And Louisa gets the points over Raiden. That's good stuff from Louisa Rizzo. But have you awoken the beast? And that's what Evan de Sautel said yesterday about Louisa. She said she felt like she'd awoken a dragon by beating Louisa yesterday. So here we go at the front of this one. Louisa's got her on the way up and kept the lead on the way down again. The corkscrew up was lovely, and the corkscrew down was even better into the second one of these light tunnels. This is a little twitchy here. Now, I'm being hypercritical, you might say, over Silent, but we don't see this from her. This is a little bit wild from Evan de Sautel. This is, it's a very difficult course, but usually she's got these absolutely tuned in, and she said there's nothing we can put on a track that she hasn't made herself. Because she's made, what was it? I think she said well over like 150 different tracks for herself and for Raiden. Well, Evan de Sautel is now starting to come into this one. As you can see, it's only hundredths of a second between her and Louisa Rizzo. It's really going to be a matter of who blinks first, isn't it, to see which one of these loses some ground on the other. But that is not working out quite so well for Silent, and yet clearly it's not working out quite so well for Louisa Rizzo either, because with a chance there, I thought, for Leo on Fire to get away from Silent, and she hasn't done so. Evan's caught her through that slalom. This is really exciting, seeing these two coming alive. 500ths of a second between them, and Louisa's caught part of that light tunnel. If she can recover where she is, she's still going to be a few seconds behind. If she has to go back and do the whole thing, it would be catastrophic for her. She'll be glad to see that nobody is close to them in 3rd place, as that is a great fight between Leslie from XTT Euroflytech and Quad Force 1 Susan Smith is fighting again for 3rd and 4th. At the front of this, though, this is Louisa's view, who's now 3 seconds, 4 seconds. It's all starting to come undone. She's now lost far too much ground on Evan de Sautel, but 3rd and 4th place, Susan Smith and Leslie Camarena. That's very exciting indeed. There's still a lot of fight going on between those two. Louisa now coming through the second one of the light tunnels with no sign of Evan de Sautel as she's 6 seconds away. 2 more races. We've finished on Ice Party. It's now Frostbite that we're going to attack with all of these amazing pilots. And Evan de Sautel has lead over, guess who? Louisa Rizzo. And then Leslie Camarena is in 3rd. But Susan Smith has had a bad start to this one. Is currently at the back, giving Ksenia Messina a chance to be in 4th and try and catch up with Leslie. Louisa Rizzo, 0.2 of a second between her and Evan de Sautel into the first time through the 2 cubes and then back through the dive gate. Here's her view of the DCL gated tunnel that we fly into before we go over the Galaxy building, around the first of the pylons, to the right of the second, to the left of the third, to the right of the fourth, through the Breitling gate, and then this Zurich Switzerland pair before we start the second lap. And that gap hasn't changed whatsoever These pilots flying very, very well. Who can make these corkscrew turns the tightest? It looked good from Leo on fire. Evan De Soto clearly nailed it, as well as that gap has not changed. My mistake. As I was saying it, I was going, no, wait a minute. There's no yellow drone in front of this one anymore because Silence behind her, and there's almost a whole second between them. I didn't catch what caught her out. Maybe Martin can untangle that for us, but there's still 2 more laps of this to go on top of this, so plenty more chances for this to all change around. Evan De Soto now 6/10 behind Leo on fire as they make their way through the tunnel. This is so exciting between these amazing pilots. Underneath that part of the chairlift system here in real life, Laax. Second Laax gate, third Laax gate, and away from there into the cubes. Not if you're silent. I am astonished how Silent has some of these big crashes and then manages to recover them pretty quickly, but that one has wiped her out. She's lost a ton of time off of that, and Leo on fire has just daylight and beautiful, crisp, clear, beautiful air of Laax in Switzerland daylight as she is lapping Yuan Shiqing now and going around the pylons and under and over. She's going to need a big crash of her own if Evan De Soto wants to get maximum points out of this race. Instead, you won't really get much of a look at her unless she turns into this. No, Luisa Rizzo is already out of this half pipe here before Evan De Soto hits the second one of the cubes and it makes her way back through the tunnel. But this is Luisa Rizzo going over the Galaxy building with a 12-second lead over Evan De Soto, bringing that home. A massive win for Leo on fire. Congratulations to her. Pretty much flawless, even under a lot of pressure. The final race of the DCL Women's Cup for this weekend is about to fly. Can we see if Luisa can beat Evan again? Can Evan tie it up? Will Leslie get another 3rd place? All the drones leaving the block in that beautiful rainbow of colour, and it's 1/10 of a second between Luisa and her main threat, Evan De Soto, is in front of Leslie Camarena. Wants the pair of them too. Behind that, Rue, Ksenia Messina, Yuan Shiqing is ahead of Siyun Park, who is already considerably far behind. Let's get on board. Leo on fire, putting it through the cube as you do to try and give yourself more visibility, and then heading up in the lead over Evan De Soto. Caught her on first or the second of the cubes. I'm not sure which one it was, and there's 2/10 between them now. Leslie Camarena is 6 seconds behind this battle, and Ksenia Messina is hovering around the back of her in 4th place. That's very close again between 3rd and 4th. Luisa Rizzo still in the front of this. Evan De Soto was narrower and tighter on one part of that, and then slightly wider on one of the other turns, so all of those sort of evening each other out. 1/4 of a second is starting to extend for Luisa Rizzo, moving away, and Evan De Soto caught what's there, I'm not sure, but she's lost a few tenths of time, not much, and with Leslie being 10 seconds behind them, not much danger of Evan De Soto losing 2nd place yet. What she wants is to take first from Luisa Rizzo as they start another lap through the Zurich Switzerland pair, through this through the DCL Arch Tunnel. Forgive me. Here's Lebeba's view going through Zurich, Switzerland, who's got 3rd. She's all right with that for the moment, but there's now 5 or 6 seconds between her and 4th place. So this is looking a lot more secure, and she may have noticed then as she went round the pylon, she might have had a chance to realise that she had daylight between her and everybody else. Evan De Soto hitting into the cube. As I mentioned just now, somehow she recovers from things like that very quickly, because I'd have thought she'd have lost even more time. Meanwhile, this is looking great for X-Blades and Leo on fire, as there are 6 more seconds of beautiful, crisp Swiss air in between them. Or is there now? No, surely Evan De Soto is coming. Leo on fire is all tangled up and trying to get the flow back, and she's just about managing to hold it together, and Evan De Soto is having issues as well. Oh, it is absolutely disastrous for both of them. Oh, that's gone all kinds of wrong. Luisa Rizzo was lucky there as she made some mishaps, and Evan De Soto had already made some before that and after it. It's another win for Leo on fire, and she had to scrap for it with herself as well as Evan De Soto. Luisa Rizzo keeps that lead and beats out Evan De Soto by 15 points to 13. That makes DCL Women's Championship even more exciting. Congratulations, Leo on fire. So excited for her and for X-Blades Racing.